Hi guys, we're on our last new lesson for chapter 1. In this lesson, we'll be learning about solving absolute value equations. In an absolute value equation, you will have absolute value bars. If you forgot what those are, those tell us the distance a number is from 0. What normally happens is it takes whatever number is inside the absolute value bars and it makes it positive. And then this is an equation, so it has an equal sign, and we're going to be expected to solve for x. Now, in these problems, we need to remember that, as I just said, if we take the number inside the absolute value bars, it will turn it positive. So when I see a question like this, I think, okay, well, when would an absolute value give me an answer of 2? And so there's actually 2 different times that I can get an answer of 2 from an absolute value. The first scenario would be if I take the absolute value of the number 2, it would equal 2. But again, there is a second scenario, and the second scenario is if I take the absolute value of negative 2, well, that would also give me an answer of 2. Since there are 2 scenarios that work for this problem, we can expect this question to have 2 answers. I'm going to find those answers by saying, what if the inside of the absolute value turned into a positive 2? Or what if the inside of the absolute value turned into a negative 2? So again, we need to run through 2 scenarios. What if the inside was a positive 2? Or what if the inside is a negative 2? In general, on these problems, you're going to take the question and you're going to split it into 2 separate problems. In one of the problems, it will look exactly the same as the original problem, just without the absolute value bars. For the second problem, you're going to keep the inside of the absolute value bars the same, and you're going to change the sign of the number that was on the outside, the number that was on the other side of the equal sign. So notice that the x minus 13 is the same, but I changed the 2 to a negative 2. This is how you solve absolute value problems. Again, you're going to solve both of these. You'll get 2 answers. For the first problem, I'm going to add 13 to the other side, and I get x equals positive 15. And for the second problem, I'm going to add 13 to the other side, and I get x equals positive 11. I'm pretty sure those are both the correct answer, but if I want to be 100% positive, I can always plug them back in and see if they work. So if I plug them in, I'm going to start with the 15. I'm going to plug in the 15 right here. 15 minus 13 is 2, and the absolute value of 2 is 2, so that works. Next, I'm going to try 11. I'm going to plug it into the same spot. 11 minus 13, and 11 minus 13. When you're doing work inside an absolute value bars, you do exactly what it says. 11 minus 13 is negative 2, and the absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2, so that one worked as well. So again, both of these would be your final answer. 2 answers to these questions. Let's do one more together. So here I have the absolute value of 3x minus 2, and it's equal to 8. So as we learned in our previous problem, we're going to take this and we're going to split it into 2 separate problems. For my first problem, I write it exactly how it looked without the bars. 3x minus 2 equals 8. For my second problem, I take the outside number 8 and I make it negative instead. Next, I'll solve each of these equations individually, and I should get 2 completely different answers. I'm not going to get the same positive and negative version. It should be two completely different numbers. Now the process is the same for each of them. I'm going to add 2 on both sides. But 8 plus 2 is 10, and negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. So even right here, we're getting different numbers. Next, I'll divide by 3. And I get my two answers are 10 over 3. Fractions are better than decimals, especially with this one because it's a repeating decimal. And we do not write mixed numbers in this class. And my second answer is negative 2. This concludes our first video about solving absolute value equations. Make sure you're getting 2 answers on your homework.